Okay, so in the last video, we have seen that how to add the command button to provide the support of edit and delete of record. Now, in this video, we are going to see that how to implement the code for the delete. Okay, so for that, I'm moving to the Vue.js, sorry, not Vue.js, but Vue student component, and there I'll be writing that. Okay, so now here in this for this functionality I have to write a code specific to every this command button. That's why what I will do, I'll move to the button, okay, wherever the button is, okay, and inside the button I'll be writing event that is on click. So whenever user will click on this button, okay, at that time this event supposed to be generated. Okay, so here on click I am writing the delete method. Okay, so I'm writing delete, let's say student. Okay, delete student, and I have to bind this, then and then this would work. Okay, so delete dot bind, okay, to this component, okay, comma, what I supposed to pass over here? I said I have to pass the student id which that user want to delete. So here I'm passing the student id, that is student dot id. Okay, this is what I have to write to delete the student. Okay, now this is delete student is a custom function which I must have to implement. Okay, so here I'm implementing the arrow function. Okay, let me write the arrow function, that is constant delete student. Okay, and what would come as an argument over here? That student id would come as an argument. So I'm writing id arrow, and here I will be writing a code. Okay, so the code would be like, the code would be that I will be calling the Axios request, that is Axios dot, here the Axios method that would be delete, because it is going to call the backend delete. Okay, uh, so Axios dot delete, and inside that I have to specify the path. The path would be http colon double slash localhost colon 8080, right, slash, let's say student, and followed by the id. Okay, so here the id would be appended like this id. Okay, and then I'll be writing dot, then, okay, response arrow, and here I'll be writing alert, that whatever response would come from the backend, that is response dot data. Okay, and here if there is any error, then that would be also displayed through the alert. Okay, so alert and error. Okay, right, so I think this is okay, that delete student with the id axios dot delete, and then that whatever response would come from the backend, that would go to over here. One more thing that I will do over here is the event dot event default. Okay, so whatever we had done in the earlier video, that is what I'm doing over here. So I'm saving the application. Okay, and here it is giving me the error that unexpected use of the event. Okay, so this is the delete student. No, here just I have to specify the argument, that is event. Okay, hopefully I should not get the error. Yeah, now there is no error. Okay, so here we have implemented the function for the delete, but what has happened, that backend we haven't implemented this functionality. Okay, so let's go to the backend. Okay, so I'm in the backend. Okay, and I will go to the controller, and in the controller I haven't specified any functionality related to deleting the student. Okay, so I have to add the controller. Okay, new controller, that is a delete one. Okay, so I'm writing delete mapping. Okay, the URL pattern is student. Okay, student. Let me increase the font size. Okay, now hopefully this is visible to you. Student. Okay, so you can see that what we have specified over here, that is a student itself. Okay, so localhost colon 80 student followed by the ID. Okay, so that ID would come like this as a path variable. So here I'll be writing ID. Okay, because it could be variable, right? It could be ID of any student, that's why it is written in the curly braces like this. Okay, and I'll be writing a method that is public string delete student. Okay, and here I'll be catching this path variable, so I'm writing path variable. Okay, the type is ID, and in the backend the type is integer, so I'm writing integer over here, and the name, that is ID. Okay, so automatically this particular value would be mapped to this variable. Okay, in the Spring Boot. Now here the code is very simple, that I will be taking the help of student repository. Okay, student repository dot, there would be a function to delete. Okay, so here the function is delete by ID. Okay, these are the inbuilt functional available to us or to the programmer to delete the student record or the record of any table which we have in the backend. Okay, so delete by ID followed by the ID, sorry, the parameter would be ID. Okay, now if this is deleted successfully, then uh, we will send a message that is return record deleted successfully. Okay, here what I will do, I will just check that whether the record exists or not. Okay, then and then I will delete it, otherwise not. Okay, so for that we have already implemented this thing. Okay, so I'll be copying this over here also. Okay, and then I'll be writing if student exist. Okay, here I will be writing that is student exist, then and then this should be done, otherwise here I will write a message that student does not exist. Okay, or I will return the message that is student does not exist. So return, I will write a record does not exist. Okay, so here the argument I have to change. Now instead of student.getId, it would become ID. Okay, because only this ID would be passed. Okay, now let me rerun the application. Okay, so the application is started. Fine. Now let me go to the page. Okay, and here let's try to delete the first record. Okay, so I'm clicking on delete, and here it is giving me message that record deleted successfully. And which record we have deleted? This is this record one, Vaidehi Changa. Okay, let me click on OK, and here you can see that automatically it is getting refreshed. Okay, let me delete one more, record deleted successfully, and everything is working fine now. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. That's it for this session.